Numerologically interesting.
Yes. Yeah, you were. Yeah, you almost went first.
This is pretty random stuff. Yep. Nice, because we also have been a little random over here.
All right, it is 3:30. So let's get started with our last presenter for the day, Jamal.
Love you too, man. Love you too. So here's my senior portfolio. I know there are other amazing projects, and I love the ability to be able to wrap up everybody to senior class. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it. It's a quick one. Okay, so a little bit about me. Like I said, my name is Jamal Lewis. How I got into CRT, two reasons. I was a biochemistry major. Dr. Boyd was my advisor, and I told her everything I wanted to do after college. And she said, hey, you might want to look into CRT. I was like, okay, I'll take the class. I'll take the CRT 101, Introduction to Prototyping, see how it goes. I loved it. Even though we got sent home and never came back after spring break because of COVID, I still enjoyed just being at home and have the ability to make things at my house. So that kind of was the backstory. And then Michael Zhu, for those who know Michael Zhu, he brought me to the Soccer-thon the fall of 2019. I just saw the camaraderie and the tight group of people in CRT. So I was like, okay, well, I like where this is going. I just needed that as a confirmation to go ahead and get into the major. I was a student athlete here. I played football. Had the ability to meet my teammates and have the ability to make tight friendships I'll have for the pretty much the rest of my life. In the process, I won 2 conference championships. I got I got the rings on right now. So for those on Zoom, okay. And then lastly, I'm a Delta Airlines employee, so that will make more sense when I get into my capstone and the reasoning behind things and abilities and the thought process to everything. So my theme is utilizing 3D printing and design to improve aircraft technologies. And I'll look forward to now. You might look at this, you might say, oh, this has nothing to do with aircrafts or any of that. You're right, it doesn't. But the relevance behind this was the intermediate 3D design class that I took with Chris, and that gave me the ability to learn about 3D modeling and just use Fusion 360 to make things. So we had daily assignments, weekly assignments. I'm not gonna lie, Chris, it was a lot. It was a lot. But just the process of going through each and every one of those assignments, building up to my final project, which was this. Just I learned so many small details that helped me. So this was Thor's Axe Stormbreaker that I wanted to make. So I took pictures off of like the internet and watched the movie Avengers: Infinity War to kind of get like a base. And if you could watch a movie for a project, I think I'd rather take that. So basically, just I learned the small tools to be able to get to where I am right now and where I am today. My second project, this is an Airbus A350 engine, and specifically is a Rolls-Royce turbofan Trent HWB engine. And this was complex. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not something that I got on the first try. I failed numerous of times, but that's the process and everything. So basically starting out, I tried to make cylinders, and I was like, you know what, let me try to shell it out, and that wasn't working because I know like engines have a unique shape to it. So, and I was like, hey, we learned about the revolve tool in Fusion 360, so you just be able to make a profile and have it along the axis to revolve around the axis. So that's how I got the engine casing, and that's how I was able to do it. And then next step was for the blades. Now I wanted to make the blades, but at first it was like vertical. I was like, well, let me look a little bit closer. There's a unique bend and a unique structure to the blades that I had to master and had to see and actually how to do. So in that process, I was able to use the axis through cone and cylinder and construct selection and use a plane at angle. So that was able to give me the ability to use the curvature to use two different profiles to combine them using a loft. So, and at first I failed at the blades because I wanted to make the blades wide. So I was like, I wonder why it's not working. But then I was like, you know what? Let me try something else. So I tried to make the blades smaller, like more close together, the two profiles, and I was able to get it. So once I saw that, I said, okay, well, I got the basis of that. Now I need to add another other one. So I got a circular pattern tool. So I was able to add additional blades. So right now there's 22 blades in there. These engines hold 60 blades, but I just wanted to get 22. And then my senior exit hackathon, I made a Boeing 737. I had to do it in 4 hours. And the reason why I chose this plane is because I knew I needed to make something in 4 hours because this was a different type of hackathon. It had to work and I had to complete it. So I knew for sure I could do this. So the tools I used was form. So I took 3 different views of the plane, the top, the side, and the front view. And as I was editing the form, I had to continuously go between those 3 images to make sure it fell in the parameters of the plane, the main fuselage, to be exact. And it was a combination of skills that I've basically built up to this point, even more, to be able to make this actually work. So the struggles I struggled with the airfoil. The airfoil is basically the positive pressure lifting action from the air below the wing, so it falls into the aerodynamic category. So being able to have the plane to provide lift, and as well as when it's landing to provide descent. So, and then I also struggle with the wings to try to get them at the right angle, because as you know, with airplanes, the wings aren't just straight out. They have an angle to it. They have the ability to go with the wind. And I already had experience with making the engines. So really, I just tie that over from my previous project and put it into here to be able to make this full plane. And as you can see, I even added windows and doors. So for those, I didn't know this for you could draw through forms. So I learned it in this process. So I was able to draw the windows and then use the rectangular pattern tool to be able to make the additional windows. Now the safety exit, the one single window on the plane, I just had to draw that by itself. You know, it is what it is. But as far as I also stumbled across the surface patch to cap the ends to make the nose of the plane and the back end of the plane. You know, and I was able to stitch those 2 points to be able to actually draw it. So those models. So getting into my capstone is altitude snacking. Basically, it's based off the aircraft galley carts, and it's based off of the snacks or refreshments, however you want to see it. So I spoke to flight attendants, items tipping over, lack of visibility at night, fumbling and misplacing phone, fumbling and misplacing their work phone, running out of items difficult to customize, and items hanging off the cart. And, you know, I spoke to these flight attendants. I heard the problems, I heard the concerns, and at the end of the day, trust me. I want to say trust me to the flight attendants. Believe me, I'm coming. So my inspirations behind this is the toolbox method, as you can see on this left image right here. So with the toolbox, it's basically items being placed in a box. And for all the dads out there that have, or just anyone who has a toolbox, you want to have your certain, you want to have like your screws together in a certain box. You want to have your other items, nuts, bolts in a certain place. And as you know, you could basically customize and interchange it. So the process behind this is the small boxes. 2 small boxes will get you to a medium box. 2 medium boxes will get you to a larger box. So just being able to have that specificity of a box to fit that specific item. And then my second inspiration was the golden ratio. Golden ratio appears in geometry, art, architecture, and many other places in nature. So the picture I chose was Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci. As you can see, the painting fits in the golden ratio, and you see the golden ratio without seeing it in nature every day. And lastly, Gridfinity. Gridfinity is a storage system to help production, efficiency, and organization. So I wanted the flight attendants to have complete control of how they customize the snack cart and to help their jobs more efficient and to overall improve their production. So here's what I designed. I wanted to make this out of 3D, a 3D box, but I want to be respectful to the lab and as well as the printers, because I would have used a lot of filament and there would have been a lot of splitting bodies as far as the big box. So, and I had to make a quick pivot to where it is right now. So basically, fully you're able to customize this, no items hanging off the side as far as the snacks. phone holders. Your flight attendants are hands free because what they were using at first was, as far as a night flight, they'll have their phone in their hand and then they'll have the flashlight on. And you can't be efficient if you're working with one hand. So it's totally hands free. And then you can rest your phone on the phone stand that I have right here. And with that is you have both hands now, your hands free, and then you can turn on your flashlight at a low light to be able to see the top of the cart. And then the items are being held so there's no tipping over, whether it's turbulence or the flight attendant knocking it over. And then the space is maximized. So, and then here's a picture of like comparing what they have on the plane to where they have what I have right now. So the big box that I have right here, I mean, I couldn't find a good coffee container at the store, so I just foam core a box, razor cutter box, so that was fine. I put that together. But being able to store items in the right box, what I talked about earlier, like you don't need a large box to store straws. Straws, they take up barely any space. And then as well as the box for the straws, I had a top tool. It was a circular pattern to where I cut out the circle and it was able to hold it. And then I'll get into the snacks, but eliminating, because really they have these two things of coffee going through the plane, but after they serve the passengers, they come through the aisle again with additional coffee. So, my thought process behind it was, do you really need two coffees on one cart? Well, if you're going to come back through and offer people additional coffee, I think we can let that go and then use it for more space. And in this case, I did with snacks. And as far as the snacks, I was able to. Well, here's a comparison with the on the cart and on the cart on the plane. I actually before I continue to go, I actually took this picture on the plane. When I got on the plane, I asked the flight attendants, "Hey, doing this project," gave them a little rundown of what I'm doing and the positives to it, and they were like, "Yeah, sure, we love what you're doing. We love what we're hearing. We'll let you take a picture of a fully stocked cart." So, and then what I wanted to do as far as this, these like I said, these small things that are being held in the box. This is top on the left is the top view of what they have on the plane. As far as because now I know the sugars that I have, they're big. On the plane, they use like the smaller sugars. So either way, it's a small box. It'll be able to hold both. And as far as the snacks, they already had issues with hitting people with the carts without the additional space, like the width on the side of the carts. So I add that if it's going to be a little bit wider, you're still going to hit somebody and be even more prone to hitting people. So my thought process, I got an idea through my committee meeting as far as like in Japan, everything's tightly packed in as far as buildings and everything. So what's their solution to building? They build up. So that's what I wanted to. I wanted to build up to where there's two drawers on each side so they can pull the drawer out and fit snacks. As you can see, I had Klein bars and fruit snacks, but literally, and as well, it helps prevent run out of snacks. Because, I love the cookies. Everybody in the plane loves the cookies. I want more than one cookie. That's just what it is. And this gives the flight attendants the ability to not run out of snacks. So, like I said, just piecing these problems together to overall build to where it is. So my future, as of right now, I'm going to continue to work for Delta. I've been how I got the cart. I emailed the CEO, kind of told him what I wanted to do with the cart. I wanted to base it off my capstone project, and he was thrilled to hear it. So he forwarded me to two people, and I've been in the process of emailing him, updating him about my projects, about my capstone, and he said, and I quote, "We need to continue to develop your career here at Delta." And I was already internally motivated, but just hearing that, it made me want to just continue to go on and go forward and be the best version that I could be. So right now I'm looking into going into tech ops, which is the engineering department, onboard services, and in-flight. And really, it depends on where I'm needed. Because, I talked to managers, talked to directors, and I told them everything these major creative technologies have to offer. And they've talked about, man, you're learning a lot of things. Your majors, they compared it to a Swiss Army knife. Versatile, being able to do anything. And as far as y'all know with that, for those who don't know about that knife, it's versatile, it can make any cut. So really, everything you learn in creative technologies, you can apply it to anywhere in the world. That's where I'm getting at. And as far as that, at the end of the day, I see myself as a catalyst. Now, I might have dropped the biochemistry major, but I still remember a little bit about chemistry. It might be fuzzy, but I remember just a little bit. So the catalyst is basically, it accelerates and energizes a chemical reaction. And for me, wherever I'm needed, wherever I'm placed, I'm going to accelerate, I'm going to bring together, and we're going to strive to be the best, because at the end of the day, Delta wants to be the best, and Delta is the best. And I might be biased about it, but being able to put myself in put myself in a group to where not only I'm bringing the best out of them, but they're also bringing the best out of me. And at the end of the day, that's what I need, and that's what the company needs, and overall, that's what we as people need. So lastly, I want to say thank you to all my professors. I want to say thank you to all the lab assistants, especially the pains and headaches of using the laser cutter to cut out these boxes so I can make, because there was a lot of boxes and there was a lot of design processes that went into it. So I want to say thank you to everyone and thank you to all the seniors. I appreciate y'all, and yeah, that's the end.